Will you stop sulking? It has to be done whether you like it or not. You're going to be scared of her your whole life.
Right, stop the car. I said stop the car!
You're on stage in 15 minutes.
I see we're ripping off a better show now. I do not in any way support piracy of films and shows, but in some cases I make an exception. Velma is the exception. It's made purely to be hated, and I'm happy to be one of the few people who hate watch it without letting HBO Max profit. So to recap, Velma is gay, Daphne's gay. I cannot wait for this amazing representation of the LGBT community. As you know, I'm an expert on this. The plot of this episode is pretty much that Daphne's moms are having a Cobra Kai tournament to make the girls more prepared for coming in contact with the murderer. How fun. The show ends up splitting the male characters from the female ones by sending Shaggy to be a therapist in prison. Shaggy needs to question Fred or something because apparently he's linked to Velma's mom's disappearance. Surprise, surprise! This plot is lame. There's nothing to it besides this. So yeah, the women do the Cobra Kai tournament, and even though it pretty much copies Cobra Kai frame by frame, it just isn't as fun or well written or even funny. Cobra Kai at heart is a dumb 80s show. Cobra Kai understands what it is. And because of that, something as dumb as the entire cast from the first 3 films teaming up to break into an elderly man's house while being completely wasted feels natural and works for the story. While anything Velma attempts just doesn't know what it is. Or at least it's written to seem that way, as the writers know very well how bad this is, and are using this to get more people to hate watch it. Anyway, the fight doesn't go down, Velma gets mad at Daphne and reads her journal to the entire school like the bitch she is, and the entire school rightfully turns against Velma, and then Daphne kicks her ass. Anyway, Velma and Daphne apologize to each other and decide to just stay friends, and Fred starts a riot and breaks out of prison. They get caught in the next scene, and then, thank God, episode 3 is over. But, unfortunately, episode 4 happens. Another girl gets killed when Fred is in prison, so he's set free. Velma, being the amazing and relatable character she is, tries to make it about herself and her mom, as usual. So then the show proceeds to spend the entire episode letting the adults hit on the underaged women. Like dead ass, they spend the entire episode with these old ass men hitting on them. The show cannot not sexualize these underaged characters for more than 30 seconds. Anyway, eventually Velma gives Fred a book or something to see the inner beauty in women, and he falls for Velma. But she rejects him now that he likes her, even though the last few episodes she's been obsessing with him. This stretches out the entire episode and it's unbearable. Anyway, for the rest of the episode, Velma tries to make the so-called hot girls ugly and they don't like it. Daphne looks for her moms or something, and that plotline leads absolutely nowhere because the show refuses to just end even though we clearly want it to. Oh yeah, and Velma's stepmom has a baby, and yeah, that's episode 4, but it somehow stretches all that bullshit for 20 minutes. Episode 5 starts with more panic attacks. I already ranted about this, and that's probably how you found this video, so I won't do it again. To sum it up, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is better. The rest of the episode just shows off how much of a terrible person Velma is. Norville gets a girlfriend who actually treats him semi-decently. And Velma hates this because she can't exploit his feelings for her to stop having panic attacks. In order to get time alone with Norville, Velma hosts a band sleepover which has some of the funniest stuff in the entire show.
Hey, don't eat that! That's baking soda, you filthy animal!
But you don't have any food! And a marching band sleepover without food is like a theater sleepover without horny undertones.
Crap!
There's a curfew, so they can't leave the house after 9, and Velma and Fred go to get pizza so the band kids don't quite literally eat the house. Yeah. Daphne tries to tell Velma she has a lead on her real parents, but being the great person Velma is, she ignores it and starts talking about herself. They get caught trying to get pizza, and Velma takes the blame because apparently Norville would do it for her. What is this? Possible character development? Better halfway through the series than never. Oh yeah, earlier in the episode it turns out Norville's mom has information about Velma's mom, so Velma blackmails her into getting it. Turns out Norville's grandmother is a mad scientist, so now Velma needs to go find her lab in Fred's house. Yeah, you heard me, in Fred's house. I know. Before the episode ends, Daphne meets her real parents, and yeah, that's it. Episode 5 over. Velma continues to have panic attacks. Fun! And since Norville isn't into her anymore, she can't exploit his feelings. So this happens a lot. Velma figures out she wants her dad's approval and that's why she has panic attacks or something. And the rest of the episode she spends trying to get his approval while he pretends to give a shit.
Velma, what are you doing up there?
I'm doing what every girl is doing up here. I'm just trying to get my dad's attention.
And one day it will work.
Fuck me, man. Anyway, Daphne spends a lot of the episode with her real parents, who are criminals. And yeah, there isn't much going on. They exploit Daphne, they go to jail, that's it. For about half the episode, Norville tries to act like he's not a pussy. That backfires when his girlfriend almost dies after getting stung by a bee because his dumbass wouldn't fix her pants. And finally, Velma breaks into Fred's basement with her dad and Fred and has yet another panic attack. It stops when Velma's dad deadass believes her for once, and then the panic attack monster demon thing blows up.
You think I can get you laugh?
If you're wondering why this video is so much shorter than the last one, even though I'm covering twice as much content, it's because the show is just filler. Pure filler. Not enough shit to make fun of for a longer video. I'll be back when the finale drops in 2 weeks to put the final nail in the coffin for this show.